Showing time. You're in the property with your investor. You've scheduled the appointment. They've been pre-approved. You're finally there. The first step is you meet them outside. You want to be at the property before they get there. You meet them outside. You take a look around the outside, the exterior, the roof, the vinyl, the windows. But most importantly, you're paying attention to the investor. Building that relationship again, always tweaking and working on the rapport and seeing how their day's going. Find out what they're up to. And then once they're ready to move forward, you bring them into the property. Paying attention to what they're looking at, paying attention to their questions, and paying attention to the things that they're saying afterwards. As an investor's going through the building, you're going to notice that they each have different imperatives, different skill sets, different thoughts, different questions. Newer investors will have more questions about the structure and the tenants. Older investors are going to have more questions about the rent roll and the history of the tenants. They're going to be paying more attention to the building and the structure itself, but focusing on what they're going to be able to turn the building into. Newer investors are more likely to look at the building as is. I strongly suggest that newer investors buy turnkey properties. I always say the first deal is your worst deal because it doesn't make the most money, but it gets you in the game. So as you're going through the building, make sure you're paying attention to what's important to the investor. Now, as you become more experienced going on the home inspections and learning from the home inspectors, and by owning property yourself, you'll know more key things to look for while you're in the building. But understand you're only there as a guide or an advisor. It's really going to be up to the investor what they're comfortable with and what they're not comfortable with. Don't try to fear factor or intimidate your investor, but also don't fluff things. If something seems to intimidate them and you have a good understanding of it, it's okay to give that education. But if you don't have a good understanding of it, always say, I'll find out. Let me look into it. I'll find out. It's okay to get quotes and prices on things that an investor is concerned about. It's especially important to make sure that you, over time, are gaining knowledge by being at the home inspections, by getting quotes for your own properties, for their properties, and having a good network of contractors that you could call on to get prices and quotes for them. Now, never quote a price, never give them a price off the top of your head, but you can say, I have a plumber I can look into. This is something I've paid in the past, or I've seen people pay in the past. But again, every contractor is different. It's important that you recognize that you're just a guide, and you're ultimately not the contractor, and you can't give them real quotes. But go through the building and allow them to see, allow them to experience, and keep asking this one question. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Is this the property you'd like to put an offer in on? What would you like to put the offer in at? What contingencies do you have? What are your concerns? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think?